If you're an e-commerce owner and you're still relying on ad agencies to run your ads, to basically grow your brand for you, you will most likely have a big problem and most likely will not be in business anymore in the next 3 to 5 years. And in this video, I'll explain to you why and what to do instead, right? How I got rid of agencies, ad agencies, that I would have paid easily like 30, 40,000 a month now, and how I did it by myself. The same thing I taught founders, e-commerce founders, just like you are, and they would be paying 20, 30 grand a month for the growth that they have now, but they do it by themselves. And with a tiny team of 2 to 3 people, they're spending like 10 grand a day, 15 grand a day, easily. Okay. So, what I want to talk about today is essentially this ad agency lie and also a little bit this confusion when it comes to ad agencies and what they actually do, right? Because as a founder, as a brand founder, most likely you're coming from the product perspective, meaning you you started this business, you started this idea, you started this brand out of some kind of pain or that you experienced or someone else experienced, or you just found like a gap in the market. You had the feeling that something is missing, and this is going to be my mission to fill this gap, right? Because I think I can do it better. So you're coming from a product perspective, right? And that's where you come from. That's where a lot of founders come from that I work with, right? So either they do skincare brand, they have a skincare brand, or they have, in general, just clean beauty brands, a supplement brand, cleaning brands, dog walking support brands, like all kinds of niches. But they come from a product perspective, which is great, right? This means you have a great product and you actually care about having a great product. This is amazing. But when it comes to the marketing side, you feel like it's it might be a little bit complex, right? Or complicated, right? So all this stuff with ad account and shifting budgets and then like cutting the creatives and all of that stuff. This is not the world you're coming from, okay? And I understand. That's totally fine. But what agencies do is they just overprice. They sell you this service, this super complex service at an overpriced price tag, and they're actually even taking they're taking a part of your profits, a big part of your profits, depending on the deal that you choose. But a lot of agencies, what they do is they basically say, yeah, we have this fixed retainer, I don't know, it's like 3 4K, and then we have a percentage of ad spend, which is 10%, right? And you're like, okay, it's fair. Like if they, if they get to increase the budgets, that should technically mean that they also grow the business. So that's fair. But then at some point, you end up looking at, your numbers at the end of the month, and you realize, holy shit, I'm paying this agency like 6K, 8K, 10K, but it's not really reflecting in my sales numbers, in my profitability numbers. When I look at new customers specifically, right? It's not really reflected there. So you're absolutely overpaying them. Plus, you have no idea what they're doing. And obviously, this is part of their job to tell you, it's so complex and, all these reports and Meta has an update and blah, blah, blah. So you think, yeah, well, but what's the alternative? Like, better I pay these experts, these PhDs, to basically run my ads, because otherwise, what would I do? Now, the reality is that this, agencies had their place, I would say a couple of years back, right? Like 4 or 5 years ago, right? Because the ad platforms were different, right? There was not as, many supportive things like AI now, that I will touch on also in a second. And it was just not as easy, right? So that made sense, right? You pay an expert and the expert does its job, does its job. But what happened is that the agency market just got flooded with people that have no fucking idea. Sorry to excuse my French, but they have no idea. They have no expertise. They have like barely had any like success stories or case studies, and if so, you don't even know which part they played, right? Were they really the ones that enabled the growth, or is it just a brand that you know that is big but they did not really contribute to the growth, right? They just did, like, I don't know, a test and they have it in their testimonials, right? So a lot of confusion, a lot of supply when it comes to agencies, a lot of crazy claims like we 3x your return on ad spend in 90 days, or you get your money back. Like maybe you fell in some of these traps, or they're just like big super established agencies where they talk you into paying them like, I don't know, 6-7 grand a month fixed plus ad spend deal, and they're just living off of case studies that they did like a couple years back, and nothing is really working finally. So this, in these old times it made sense, but now today I say, and this is what I always say in all of my videos, it's your duty as a founder to own your acquisition. And it's not only like to tell you, yeah, like you need to own it, you need to really, like, this is an ego thing. It's not an ego thing. Like, it depends on what do you want to do with your brand, right? If you want to build a brand that actually controls their growth and where you have more safety when it comes to, okay, like forecasting, like managing cash flow, having speed when it comes to, like, I have an idea or we have an idea now, let's do this today. Like, this is stuff that doesn't work with an agency. Plus, if you really want to take this e-commerce game serious, most likely your goal is to eventually sell your brand, right? Sell your brand to a bigger brand or whatever, to make an exit, right? To exit your brand. Now, I can tell you that any investor, any investor that you talk to, if you say that the most important growth lever is outsourced to an external agency of like some 24-year-old or 20-year-old guys that do some UGC creatives, and you're one of 30 clients, they will be like, come back once you got this stuff in-house. That's what it is. Like, the value of your company has a lot to do with the risk that is attached to your company, and that's a huge risk, right? Especially if you have no idea what they're doing. You're completely dependent, fully dependent on what they do, what they say. Let's say they get a big client in, and all of their attention shifts towards the big client. You know that, right? You've been through that, or you are going through that, where they promised you a lot in the beginning, but then all of a sudden you end up working with people that are not skilled, right? That just came in like a couple of weeks ago, and now they're managing your hard-earned money and they're screwing things up. Like, this is irresponsible, right? So that's why, as a founder, going forward, this is the only way, in my opinion, right? And that's what I do in my own brands. That's how I teach founders to do. And the reality is, and that's crazy, this is the crazy opportunity for you right now, is that it's never been easier to run the ads in-house. It has never been easier. It is crazy. Like, literally, I see like brands go from 40K per month in sales to over $1 million a month consistently in a matter of 12 months, right? Those are brands that I work with. I help them like put these systems in their company, and I tell you, the team size is like 2 people that focus on this, really, right? So I got some cool special effects here. Anyways, so yeah, that's what it is. Like, you don't need a big team. It's a lie. It's not true. You don't need PhDs. You don't need people that studied like the algorithm for years. It's all BS. It's all BS. This is what they have to tell you in order to sell you. But the reality is that I see founders and brands scaling literally, like as I said, 40K to a million a month. Another one, 15K to 400K per month. If you would ask these people, like, and I know it, like they didn't know anything about the ads manager before. They had no clue, right? So how is this then possible? This should not be possible. This should not exist, right? If you follow the agency storyline, right? But it exists. And when you do the math, it's so much more profitable if you own the acquisition rather than having someone else manage it. It's one thing is control, the other thing is just profits, right? If you grow that fast, and you can if you have a great product, like literally, like the clients that I mentor, they would be paying like for example, the $1 million a month, they will easily be paying 30K per month in agency fees. 30K per month. Like this, it's insane. It's insane. And I know other brands that, chose to do the agency route, or at least that's what they do right now. And when you look at, like, when you do an audit for them and you look at, okay, how much do you pay your agency, how much do you do in profits per month, blah, 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 all of a sudden, like when you do the math, they're paying 40% of their profits to the agency. This is insane. If you could do it in-house, and you can, that's what I teach. Like, it works, the system works. If you commit to it, then you could just be saving yourself like 25% of that, or even 30% of that, instead of paying it to the agency. Those are profits that you can use to buy more stock, to improve your product, to hire people that are part of your team, right? That understand the brand and that help you to move the paid ads even more towards spending way more ad budgets. So it is incredible. And the other thing is that I touched earlier is also the AI development. Now, with what's possible right now, I mean, it is insane. Like, you can literally like create image ads, static ads, do the whole research part in a matter of seconds. If you know, obviously, if you have the prompts, for example, the prompts that I engineer for my clients, it's always like 80, like AI gets you to 70-80%. There's always a manual part. I always say that. But if you don't have that, if you don't use that, I mean, then obviously it's difficult, right? But all the other stuff, like campaign setup, super simplified. I have videos about this. Like, I share everything. It's literally super simple. Everybody can do it, right? It's all about messaging, creatives, and basically building the right funnel behind that. And yeah, but if you break it down, it's worth the effort in the midterm and long term to just commit to it and do it by yourself. And then you will never look back. Like, literally, like, ask any client that worked with me or works with me, they would never go back to an agency. I've literally had clients tell me that, like, why would we ever go back to an agency, right? We're spending like 300K a month now and we came from nothing, so why would we need that? Okay. So yeah, if you're on the fence, if you don't really know, or if you want to just explore this option, like, jump to the other side, explore it. Literally, like, click the first link in the description, book a call with me and my team. We figure out how we can help, if we can help. Check out the other videos on my channel to just get a feeling of, okay, what are the things that we would be doing, and book a call. And I tell you honestly, what is your situation? Not from an agency perspective, not trying to sell you into like an agency commitment, not at all. I'm a brand owner, you're a brand owner. I would just be putting myself into your position and tell you honestly, like, that's what I would do. And then it's on you to decide, hey, do I want that? Do I feel confident about it? But I'm telling you, like, everything is solvable. Like, if you don't have like people that cut the ads, I would literally like show you my process on how I get these people, right? For cheap. For cheap. You would be surprised. Like I have clients that they pay like $500 a month for someone that cuts their creatives, excellent creatives, and they're scaling with that. Okay. So where do you get that from an agency? They charge you like 3K only for the creative part, right? So yeah, that's it. New times are coming. I would say the e-commerce founders that jump now and that jump onto this new bandwagon and basically own their acquisition once and for all, those are the ones that are going to come out as winners. 100%. The other ones are going to drain in, like losing a bunch of money in agencies, jumping agencies every 3 to 6 months, not having any clue what's working and why things are working. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, and you're tired of this agency hopping, check the link in the description, and we'll see what we can do. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.